let's go. Let's go through that shit. Dune Awakening. Big dick, dude. I watched this live and I was lazy. So I didn't actually sum this up for you. So I have my bro Hobo Gamer sum it up for me and for us. So there is like a video summing up what's coming up in Dune, and I'm actually pretty happy. I'm so fucking relieved, dude. Because one thing that they were really adamant about this, and if you go back to my X profile and check out my tweets, I actually posted about this. So they say they said things about their business model, right? And the business model was that it's basically free. The game is free. Okay, like this immediately raises suspicions. There's nothing like free in this world. Like free is the best price. But there's always some kind of price to it, just hidden. Like, it could be you are the product, your attention, there will be ads, or there will be something going on. Like, nothing is free in this world, apart from getting maybe, like, punched in the face, okay? This is what they say in Poland. It's just, like, roughly translated. But anyway, this game, you pay for the box, and it's free. And all the updates are free. All the content, all the features, everything that coming your way is fucking free. However, there will be DLCs which are paid extra. It reminds me of the business model from Guild Wars 2. You have the main story, which is really... I still believe that the main story in Guild Wars 2 is what makes Guild Wars 2 great. Everything else in the game... Yeah, it's okay, but the story. Like, the story makes Guild Wars 2, I think. It's core of the game. And what do you do in Guild Wars 2? When you buy a DLC or an expansion, right? They give you, the part of the story included in that fucking price of the expansion. Like, first kind of, like, one season, for example, right? But any upcoming season... will be paid extra. So that's how they make money, apart from the big dig monetization scam. But yeah, lies detected. What do you mean? On Steam page it says 5 days early access. Yeah, I got it. We're gonna play the game on the 17th. Yeah, I got early access. Yeah, it's not, I mean, early access head start. It's not, I mean, early access, it can be like, yeah, because that's not what they meant. There will be no, like, alpha, beta, early access kind of thing. It's like full launch immediately. However, people can get a head start at the full launch. That's what they mean. I know this is confusing. I get it. Yeah, that makes sense. This is probably poorly worded. True. So you know, when you take Guild Wars 2 as a precedence to this kind of monetization model for a game, I am immediately suspicious, because Guild Wars 2 is beyond redemption. Right? Guild Wars 2 is like full fucked pay-to-win bullshit. Because there's no way you can sustain a live service game for 12 years on the box price alone. Right? And so I'm very, like, suspicious about this game starting off strong, but then descending down to the pay-to-win hell in a couple of years. That's why I said this worries me. However, in the video, in this stream, which was like few hours long, and actually it wasn't 2 hour stream. I think it was even longer than that. It was, I'll probably say, close to 4 hours, maybe. Maybe I don't know. I have some kind of weird sense of time, but in any case, they were very adamant. Like, they literally looked into the camera and said, no pay to win, never any in-game cash shop, never. Pay the box price, buy extra DLCs if you want to, enjoy the fucking game. And maybe it was the fact that real human said it to me, real life, real time, with the passion and conviction in their voice. Maybe it was like the kind of like that moment that, okay, maybe actually they're saying the truth. Maybe they have an idea. Like, I'm not looking into their wallets. I don't know what their balance sheet is. But maybe they have a plan. Okay? So, it kind of, like, calmed me down a bit. Anyway, this is the summary of that stream. And I really recommend we watch that. Because the game is expensive. It's $50 without the head start. Like, base game, $50. Then you have... actually, I don't know exactly dollars because I paid in pounds. But I know the base is $50 or 42 British pounds. And then you have 68 pounds for the middle edition. And I paid for that. And then you have like close to 80 pounds for the Ultimum Big Dig edition. Okay? Yeah. New World started as no pay to win. Now look at it. I don't trust it. Can you tell me how New World is pay to win? Battle Pass and all. Okay, Battle Pass. I didn't know they had Battle Pass. So before we jump in, let me take a look. New World Battle Pass. What's that? Okay, let's take a look. I mean, Battle Pass is nothing new. I mean, Albion Online is fucking pay to win. But there are games. Sorry, there are games which have Battle Pass and they're fine, right? Okay, let me take a look at this. One second. So what do you get? So free track, bullshit. Yeah. Okay. Okay. This is. So this is pay to win. This one thing makes the premium track pay to win. Yeah. Any experience booster, any access to extra power, anything like it makes the thing pay to win. Okay, so this is pay to win. Yeah. Okay, another game we won't ever play. I'm not gonna support that. Fuck that bullshit.
Survival crafting game, Dune Awakening.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
So I'm gonna run through real quick all the interesting points because the live stream was like 2 hours long.
Yeah,
so
it was.
I thought I'd summarize it for you guys. So it starts with the latest trailer, and then they show the exploration trailer that they had recently. It's hosted by their lead PR person, Natasha. They talk about how verticality is really important to help create beautiful vistas and exciting travel, and they show some of that off.
All right, this video is boring. Let me find another one. Let me see. So we have live stream. Yeah, so it was 2 hours actually. There we go.
Has just done their first live stream showing off live gameplay of Dune Awakening and talking about what we can expect to see in the game when it comes out on the 20th of May this year. They spoke about the world, its locations, gameplay, vehicles, combat, and all the way to how you can build your character and the different possibilities of builds you can have. So without any further delay, let's get right into the stream recap.
Chrono-kun! Arigatou gozaimasu, Chrono-kun. Chrono.
The dev team started off by wanting to reassure the players that the world of Dune and the map itself will not be just a boring place to explore. It's not just going to be a flat space full of sand with nothing to see but yellow everywhere you look. They used verticality as their main tool in order to make locations different, with different feeling and vibe to them, and to make them stand out and be more interesting than just a flat place.
Yeah, one thing I noticed when they were flying around, it's all desert, right? It's all sand, but you can kind of tell that there's a different type of rock and sand. Like the shade of the sand changes, or the texture on the rock changes, and you can kind of like tell you're still in the desert, but like different region of it. Really nice, really subtle, but very nice. It makes the world a bit more variable, right?
There will be tons of different locations in the world. They are using verticality going both up and down by adding canyons as locations to explore as well. Now, when it comes to the exploration itself, they advised that players should explore the game at nighttime, at least at the start, due to the sun not being out. As the sun and dehydration will cause a stroke and be a hindrance to exploration, at least at the start of the game, where you don't have easy ways of getting water and extracting water, and you don't have a bunch of sun protection for your gear. The game will start in a neutral section, which which is basically a starter zone. When
Yeah.
you explore these locations and future locations, as the game will have multiple maps, you'll be using the compass to point you to all types of points of interest that you can then go to and explore. You'll be able to even add your own markers on the map in case you find some hidden areas. Hidden areas will have chests with special schematics you can learn. There will be tons of areas that might look like they might have nothing there even if you explore it, but actually they've went out of their way to hide a lot of cool schematics and craftables in chests that will be hidden in those random ass locations that you might never have thought to even go to. So that will
Okay, so 1 second, because he kind of rushing it. So we are at 2 minutes. Let me go back for a second. So you see this thing? So Haga Basin, the way they are handling players and how they layer them is that Haga Basin is essentially a starting zone, and it has 40 players cap. So on every Haga Basin map, it's like a tiny starting zone, right? You have 40 players, kind of like in Guild Wars 1, you had like Lion's Arch 1 all the way to 48, and you had to change layers to meet with your friends, kind of like this. And this is the thing that just is easy, no PvE, whatever. And the real game happens in the deep desert. That's the name of the location, and that's where the hundreds of players play. Okay, so that's the thing. And also one thing, I don't know if they're gonna mention that in the video. They said 99.99% of the game is solo content. You don't need a group to play the game. Okay, it's really, really cool.
Points of interest that you can then go to and explore. You'll be able to even add your own markers on the map in case you find some hidden areas.
Oh wait,
Hidden
let
areas
me
you have
skip.
checked
Sorry.
through every little cranny, because you might just find a special schematic nobody else has in a little hole in some cave on top of a giant rock. You never know. So there will be tons of different locations as well as different
This is
hazards
awesome.
spread around the map. The red circles you can see on
The map is so
are
good.
drum sands. These basically caused tons of vibrations that will attract the worm, and the worm is not something you want on you anytime soon. There will be areas with quicksand in the game. Quicksand is the #1 killer of ground vehicles. If you get your vehicle stuck in it, that's your vehicle dead. It's going to get eaten up by that quicksand just the way it would in the movies. There will also be areas in the game that will have radiation. You can see them by these cute, cool looking hues. You should definitely not go into those unprepared. Like I mentioned before, they will have vertically going down as well into canyons. These canyons are these massive spaces you can go down into.
By the way, the guy shows just exploring the map on that ornithopter, or I think that's the word, like or ornithopter. I think so. It's a big dig day when you get one. It's not like you load into the game and get it. This is apparently like super huge achievement, kind of like getting a mount in World of Warcraft vanilla. Like this is a big day for you. Okay, so it's not like you get to see all of that first day.
Preferably with your helicopter, or I forgot what it's called, guys. I don't remember. Well, with the little with the Firefly helicopter, you can go down into the canyons,
Mosquito,
and you can explore them. There are mining areas in there. These
it looks so
also
cool.
safe
I mean, it looks
from
awesome.
sandstorms,
You gotta
but
like
also
admit this
sandworms
looks
will
great.
be able to get you there. Now, as you explore and you will be entering different locations and different areas, your compass will signal the type of zone these locations are. When your compass has green under it, it is for a safe zone. That means you're either in an outpost or a quest location, somewhere basically that it's safe. You have the yellow color, which will be strictly PvE, and then you have the red color, which will be for PvP zones, where you will be in danger of getting killed by other players.
So the aspect of PvE, PvP cropped up quite a lot in the QA session, and the way it works is like the only PvP place is like some kind of top layer of the deep desert that I mentioned before. So, in other words, most of the game is pretty much PvE, but the big reward is in that top layer of deep desert where the PvP is on. However, the incentive to kill the player is... Well, okay, let me say it otherwise. Dying is painful. You lose a lot. Okay, so it's not that people will just go around and kill each other at sight, because it's not. Most of the time the risk is just too high. So I don't know. Apparently it's a well balanced. We'll see. I mean, the only way to find out is to play the game, right?
Now, I also mentioned the first map is like a starter map. It's like an open world. It is going to be pretty huge, but they are planning to make the game in maps. The starting location, like I said, is the first map.
Yeah.
You'll be able to get out of that map and go to the next one as you progress, and you gain the ability to craft a vehicle that can take you from one map to another, like the helicopter. Or when you unlock outposts, there will be NPCs that you can, I assume, pay, and then they will fly you from your current location to another map to a different outpost or wherever else you need to go, as long as
also there's like a flight
this
mount
sort of map system.
Holy
where
shit.
They will have multiple open world maps.
I didn't see that.
Good, because instead of adding on chunks to the map and then having to worry about
what the hell
of a massive world, they can just add on locations and worlds with these maps, and that would be probably easier
what is
to
this
optimize and to keep a certain graphical standard up pretty high. Now, the world will also have dynamic events that you can run into and take part in while exploring the map to keep things fresh and interesting on every outing you do. You see, these dynamic events will vary. There will be big ships flying around in the sky.
Yeah.
There will be crashing ships that will come down and explode into the ground. There will be spice explosions just coming out of the ground.
This is
to
cool.
Witness.
Have to
and
say.
there will be dynamic encounters like combat encounters with NPCs. Like
okay, the word has dropped. NPCs. They are fucking stupid. And I probably this guy won't say it because he's very on the high note of the game. Those NPCs are the worst AI I've seen in my life. Sims 2 had better AI than those NPCs. Fucking morons. Oh, I'm dead. Terrible. Terrible. Jesus. And I saw your messages, guys. I will go through them after the video for sure. There's lots you have to talk. We had a lot to talk about, but I noticed that Nereus said like AAA game my ass because there's no animation of going out the vehicle. I would worry about NPC AI more than this. Honestly, there's no challenge in fighting those bitches. Like they won't show this in this video, but in the stream we had a chance to see it. It's like Star Wars Outlaw. Oh, where is he? Oh, kurwa. So bad, man.
Like the scavengers that had a broken down
Timmer!
to murder your ass and
Jesus.
themselves. Now, when it comes to enemies and locations, the safe locations will have garages, as unfortunately during playtests, players would leave their vehicles outside of outposts, a sandstorm would roll through and destroy all their bikes and stuff. So in order to avoid that problem, they added garage to outposts and safe locations. There will
this is
also
cool.
be NPC camps you can find in the world, NPC factions that will fight each other, living in those camps. They will all look different and have their own theme.
Or maybe he's gonna show the combat, because that's when it happened.
Their general theme of the faction. There will be bunch of vehicles throughout the world in these locations.
Come on, show us the combat, man.
Different sizes with different types and rarities of equipment. As you progress through the game and you continue to different areas, there will of course be other factions that will be more advanced. There will be less ragged and rundown and more high-tech advanced factions. And obviously the enemies and NPCs there will be much more difficult to fight and will have much more abilities to deal with the players. Going back to the safe locations will have NPCs that will give out quests. They will also have contract boards. These contract boards
standard
will
stuff.
also have quests you can take up. These contract boards will also have faction-specific quests, which you'll be able to take up down the line when you align yourself with one of the factions. You'll be able to see, of course, all those quests and contracts in your quest log, just like any other standard video game. As I also mentioned, when you unlock different posts, there will be NPCs with their helicopters that will be able to take you to other posts or cities in different worlds or maps. But if you craft your own, of course, you'll be able to use your own helicopter to travel between all of these locations.
Okay.
Now, talking about combat a little bit, they showed off a little bit of fighting they did with AI, a little bit bit of melee combat. They showed off a little bit of
So,
gunplay.
look,
They showed
so what's he doing?
Shield you get as a melee combat player. The shield will basically block hitting you. It is only usable for melee classes. If you tried shooting while using that shield, the shield just goes off, which is awesome. The first thing when I heard them say that was, oh my god, well, what's stopping me from abusing the shield with a gun? And, you know, they answered it. Basically, the shield will just turn off the moment you fire a bullet. So it is for melee only. There will be weapons that are better against the shields that will deactivate the shield faster. So
where are you?
Use. If you're getting rushed down by a melee guy with a shield, you will probably want to use a weapon to take
where
the
is
shield down
she?
first.
Oh, god damn it.
That is more physical or flesh
wait, don't
damage
kill
and
me.
finish them off.
Wait a second.
I know
God.
you can put down turrets, little turrets that will fire at your enemies. I don't know if those are melee or range specific. And apart from that, they haven't really showed much except a few skills and some of the skill tree and other stuff. I just want to add that they did say you will be able to play however you want. You won't be forced into melee or range based off one being more meta than the other. They want to balance it well and let people play however they want to play. And they also said that melee characters will be able to parry. So I'm guessing that will be some melee on melee action where you'll be able to parry somebody's attack and then just counter-attack their ass, you know? Some badass stuff. Now going down to player stuff, they talked about some base building, vehicles, how you're gonna harvest water, and basically that will start off with you having to find certain plants that have sap and you'll be sucking that sap out of them to hydrate yourself. Later on, you'll be able to make tools to harvest blood from bodies and make blood into water. That will be a unique experience for sure. I can't wait to see how that will go in the game. I imagine my first time harvesting blood out of a dead body will be slightly traumatic experience.
I have problem with blood overall.
There will be tons of skill trees the player will be able to learn and then grab skills from to create their own unique builds. That seems like a really cool idea that will add a lot of variety to player builds and what you can do and the unique character you want to be, if that makes sense. These skill trees will be gained from NPCs that will teach you these skill trees. These NPCs will be scattered across the world and you will have to explore and find these guys and then talk to them, get a little quest line going, and once you complete that quest line, these NPCs will then teach you the skill tree that you can then use the skills from to make a new or upgrade your current build. They also showed two types of locations that you'll find across the world that the players will be able to go to. One of them are shipwrecks and the other ones are imperial stations. The difference between those two is that shipwrecks will be all PvP enabled apart from the very first one, which I'm guessing you explore as a tutorial bit, but they will all be PvP enabled. That means players will be able to go there and they will be able to kill you. Now, the shipwrecks are primarily to find weapon materials and all types of weapon crafting stuff, while the Imperial posts all PvE exclusively. You will not have to worry about the danger of other players killing you, and these Imperial posts are mainly parts for crafting vehicles and blueprints for vehicles and stuff like that. Oh, and one cool thing they also added right at the end is that you will be able to steal vehicles from the NPCs and their outposts. If an NPC outpost has a buggy,
Grand Theft Auto shit.
Just take it for yourself. So yeah, GTA
Holy shit.
and Dune.
Yeah, GTA, exactly. Yeah.
I mentioned vehicles that will be part of crafting. You'll be able to craft tons of different things, not only just vehicles, but also bases.
This is someone's house, by the way. Someone literally built it in the game.
Equipment, weapons, you know, all the traditional stuff you'd want from a crafting system. You'll be able to find a bunch of materials and blueprints and all that type of stuff in chests of different sizes and types. When it comes to base building, they know the players will have to move. They will be going from different locations, and as they progress, they will have to go further and further into different maps. So they are very much aware of the game working in a way where they will have to abandon bases. So players will abandon bases. That's
so I don't know if he's gonna say this. actually, let's listen. But there are two things about the bases that I want to say.
It's just something that will have to happen. You will have to move on and leave your old baby behind. When you abandon a base, the cool way for them to deal with abandoned bases and basically clutter, we've all seen it in other games, especially like Rust, when you have a starter area and you just see basically a little village of tiny little houses, every single on top of each other, just as far as the eye can see. And that stuff gets not only obnoxious and poop to look at, but it can also be impactful for the performance of the game.
I don't know, it's fun.
So the way they will deal with that and clean up all these abandoned bases is really cool. They will use the sandstorms for that. When the sandstorm comes in and there are abandoned bases, the sandstorm will degrade them and basically break them down and make them disappear. You'll be able to craft also vehicles.
Okay, so he moved on. So, okay, chat, about the houses. I know in Quinfall, so we had this problem with Quinfall, right? Where houses were super expensive to upkeep, and they eventually reduced the cost of the upkeep by half. However, the house decay is gonna work the way that you have to keep the energy up in the house so that you get this protection against sandstorm going. So as long as that shield is up, your house is untouchable, and you can keep it that way like forever, right? And so they said you can load up enough energy into the generator or whatever weeks ahead. So there is decay, but apparently it's very manageable if you just play the game. However, there's no thing like supposedly in World of Warcraft where you can build a house and it stays there until the end of the time. It just doesn't work that way. Another thing is that you can build a house everywhere. There will be very tiny zones which are free of construction. These like landmarks and some like, important cities or whatever. But other than that, you can build a house wherever the fuck you want. Kind of like I think in Once Human. And it will be fun to just walk around the map and see houses. Just run like, oh, someone's house. Okay, well, there you go. Just makes the world alive. I think this is a good idea.
Vehicles like bikes, hovercrafts, and of course the coolest Omnicopter. That's what it's called, Omnicopter.
No, it's not called Omnicopter.
I'm not gonna lie. When they were flying the Omnicopter, they showed
it's not Omnicopter.
You will be able to turn
Omnicopter. Hey, I love that.
And glide. It looked awesome.
Yeah.
The whole experience of flying the Omnicopter right now looks really, really cool, and I feel like it's gonna be very enjoyable for the players as a means of transportation and exploration of the map. And you can also scan from your Omnicopter for locations and points of interest, which is also really, really cool. It will make exploration easier and get rid of some of the tediousness that can come from exploring large open worlds. Ground vehicles, of course, will cause vibrations. And as we know, these vibrations will
cause the worm.
Yeah,
boy, there he is. Look at the dick.
Well, not tons, but there are sandworms, obviously. All these sandworms will have their own territory, and they are very territorial. So if you do step on their territory, causing some
I didn't see that during the stream. Notice, I'll just go back a second. Notice the vibration wave here in the middle. I didn't notice that on the stream. This is what tells you that you're fucked, okay?
Causing some unnecessary vibrations. They are going to come and eat your ass up. So just be careful. So generally, that's pretty much everything they spoke about and mentioned. I don't think I missed much or anything at all. But if I did, make sure you let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know what you think about all of this.
Here's the video, guys. If you want to check it out.
Good, and you're excited to.
I'll give the guy a sub, small channel. Small channel.
Some stuff that you don't like.
Bigger than mine, actually.
It might be a negative for you when it comes to the game.
His dick is bigger than mine. God damn it.
If you did, make sure you hit that like button. It will help me a lot.
Yeah,
and
no, sure, dude.
Also subscribe. Please show some love. Help me get this channel going.
Yeah.
And I will deeply appreciate and love you. Seriously, I will love you very much.
Okay, please send me a love letter then. Thank you. So one thing he didn't cover, and this is probably the most, like literally, this is the most interesting part, chat. Q&A. Is voice chat available in the game?
So you'll have to enable it. basically. It'll be disabled by default, but you can go in and enable it.
It's there. It's proximity chat. You have to enable it because it's disabled by default, which I think... I don't know how I feel about it, but in Throne and Liberty, they have opt-in voice chat, and literally no one used it. Whereas I think it's really fun to have that on by everyone. And then if someone wants to opt out, that's cool. But I think it should be opt-in because voice chat relies on other people being there so you can talk to them, right? There won't, like, you will, if this is disabled by default, you will need a momentum. You will need to generate this snowball effect where more and more people want to join it. So it will be very difficult to get this off the ground. Okay, next question. What do we have? Are contracts forced? No, content is solo in the game. Literally, most of the game is solo. How big is Deep Desert? I actually don't remember. Oh, they essentially asking if there will be layering.
I think we answered this. So
Did you?
Yeah, we did just before you came. It's well, you can do the repeats then. Go for it.
Let's see if you see
Just
the same
what
thing
he
as
said-
us.
what he said,
I should
what
have.
he
I
said.
should have watched the thing when you were talking.
What
Well, the Desert is big. I think it's 576 square kilometers or something.
Okay,
Like this, but,
holy fuck.
I don't have much more to say if you already talked about it, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at the other question. Is population going to be smaller than we expected? I don't know. What are people expecting?
I am not really sure either.
I mean, the question is simple. How many players will be in the zone? I don't think they ever answered that. They only said about Hagas Basin that there will be 40 players per layer. But this is a tiny, tiny starter zone. No one cares. This is where the game is, Deep Desert. I don't think they actually said it. There will be timers for bases to decay. Yes, I already said that. Then we have, can you build anywhere? Yes, you can build anywhere, apart from literally a few exceptions. Can you attack from the ornithopter? I don't remember.
It's
Hit
about
on the
that.
battle. I love
So
that.
it was basically a
Hit on the battle
transport
bus.
ornithopter with
Yep.
the 5 people on top with like las guns and.
That's something Alex would do.
miniguns.
Absolutely.
Okay, so ornithopter, yeah. So yeah, basically the answer is yes. Is there any information for when Dune comes to console? No one cares. How frequently will the DLCs come out? They said every 3 months. Yeah. We're gonna get new content every 3 fucking months, dude. Crazy. That's a crazy cycle. But it makes sense if it's the only way they make money. What happens when you are killed? Kill someone with PvP? Okay, let's go through it. There's too much for me to repeat. I don't remember everything.
What happens when you are killed? Kill someone within PvP. Do you prop everything? Are bodies fully lootable?
First, you swear a little bit.
First, you swear. That's the first
Yep.
thing that happens.
I definitely will.
Yeah.
Then you
Like a-
respawn. Then you try
For a
to get
second.
back to your corpse, and then you hope that the other is not there. But
Or
no,
you
it's not.
hope it's there.
Your hope is there, and but no, it's not full loot PvP in the game.
Yeah.
You lose durability. You lose all your
Coins.
spice, all your CAD, the
Yep.
Solari resources, and things like that.
So basically, like, just because you don't lose gear, it doesn't mean it's not painful. And I think this is on purpose because it will mean people will think twice before engaging in PvP. That's really all there's to it. Yeah. So you lose items, and I mean, spice is the most important thing you can get, and you're gonna lose all of it. That should be alone enough to stop you from attacking. Can you pet the worm? No, it's gonna tickle your dick if you get too close, and that's what you're gonna get. Yeah. All right, chat. So yeah, this is pretty much Dune. Are you guys hyped? What do we have? Well, let me read the chat about Dune. And so we have well, I really think games today gonna be pay to win, all of them. Every publisher is doing it. Why not them? I don't think I can agree with that. No, every publisher is probably a stretch. I don't know. We have plenty of games that are not pay to win. I know, it's just from the S tier list, you have Final Fantasy 14, but we can go all the way to like indie games that don't do it. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's true. I think every publisher is probably too much. And so, yeah. And then I just hate when games talk about the product as life-changing and then it is just sad. I hate that too. However, I don't think they are trying to do that. I really don't. Dune Awakening. Let me go to their website. I don't think they said this like some kind of next gen, big dick growing MMORPG. Yeah, they just let me go into the game. Yeah, look, it's just open world survival game. It doesn't say anything about life-changing situations, you know? It's just a game. So I don't think they're overselling it much. Sure, they are probably coloring it here and there. I mean, it's the job of the marketing to make you buy the game, right? That's fine. But if they sell with facts, then it's nothing misleading, nothing scammy about it, and they definitely don't say anything about being the next gen life-changing game. It's fine. The other one. So this look. So look about this, okay, and then go on to this website. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Just like Quinfall, changed my life. Wow. So you know, actually, if you look at Dune, there are good guys. It seems like so far. I don't know. They're okay. Yeah. They don't. I don't think they really bring any bad rep from their previous games either, like Age of Conan, Conan Exiles, and Anarchy Online. They build all of that, and I don't think people are like mad at them about any of those games. It seems like they are really sticking to their word. So maybe that's okay. Suck the plant. Yes, you can actually suck the plant in the game to to fill up the water level in the body. Yeah, they're like little tiny herbs or succulents sticking out of the ground, or you can just suck on them. Yeah, very fun, right? Suck that plant in it. All right, so that's chat. That's Dune. Are we hyped? Are we excited? Come on, give me something. Like who? Like come on. What are your thoughts? This is a big dick game, dude. We don't get big dick games often.
Subscribe.